All right, 12. Um, hmm. So this is one where they're not asking for triangle congruent to triangle. They want to know that angles are congruent. So I'm just gonna, you know, there's only two triangles here. So obviously I'm gonna have to show that this triangle is congruent to this triangle, and then I'll tie together that these corresponding parts, that this angle up here is congruent to this angle here via CPCTC. All right, that's where I'm heading, okay? But I got to show that, those two triangles, triangle 1 and 2, are congruent. And let's start off with a given. C is the midpoint of AD. That's all we know. So if C is in the middle, well then those two sides are congruent, and that's it. Resist the temptation to go to BE. They didn't tell you anything about that. The other piece they tell us is that angle D, okay, this angle up here is congruent to angle A, this angle down there. That's a given. And then, like I said, we're looking for reflexive or vertical angles, which we have right here, right, those intersecting lines. Okay, so this is another angle side angle. All right, so before I end with CBCTC, I'm going to say that triangle ABC is congruent to triangle, well, the side that corresponds to A is D, the side that corresponds to B is E, and then C corresponds to itself. So it's DEC. All right, and that's going to be by the angle side angle postulate, right? And then I'll end with that. So I got my game plan. Let's write it up. State the givens. 1, C is the midpoint of 80. Okay, how did I know that? Oh, that was given. Well, the consequence of that is that AC, all right, AC is congruent to CD. How did I know that? That's the definition of a midpoint. Okay, and that is our first fact. 3, angle D is congruent to angle A. All right, how did I know that? Well, that was given. Okay, and that's our second fact, which is an angle. 4 is that these angles here are congruent. That's angle BCA and DCE. So angle BCE is congruent to angle DCE. Well, how did I know that? Well, they're vertical angles. Okay, and vertical angles are congruent. Well, now I've got my 3 facts, 1, 2, 3. So 5, I'm ready to make this statement with this reason. Okay, so triangle ABC is congruent to triangle DEC. How did I know? Oh, that's the angle side angle postulate. Okay, now I can conclude with that these corresponding parts of my congruent triangles must be congruent. So angle B is congruent to angle E, okay, and my reason is, well, they're corresponding parts of congruent triangles, so they must be congruent. All right, and you can look at our congruence statement. B corresponds to E, so those corresponding parts of congruent triangles must be congruent.